What's up, everyone? Happy Monday. We are here, number 7 of our afternoon devotions. Good to be with you guys. Hope you're having a good day out there. So let's get started, as always, with our thankfulness log. Hope you guys have been doing that on your own and or with your family. So today, for me, I am thankful today for music. I've really been enjoying the music that Pastor Brian's been leading us with in our Sunday morning videos. I've been just doing a lot here at the house, just playing music together, whether on the piano or just from our phones and stuff, and just singing and dancing together. That's been a lot of fun and brought a lot of joy and happiness while we've been here on quarantine. So let me know in the comments what you guys are thankful for today. Make sure you guys are doing something each day to let one another and let God know what you're thankful for. For our quarter teen game today, let's do a little update. So Friday, the question posed was, how much did Miss Julie weigh when she was born? Had several responses. The correct answer was 7 pounds, 7 ounces, just 1 ounce more than I was. I figured I'd get a lot of guesses of her weighing less than I was as a baby. Most of the guesses were quite a bit more, but the closest one was Luke at 7 pounds and 4 ounces. So he gets another quarter for winning that one. So today's question, though, for our quarter teen games, and I'm going to do this one a little bit differently. I'm feeling generous today. By the way, check in with the chat. Let me know what you're thankful for, but also we'll have a little bit of interactive stuff as we go through this. I lost my train of thought. So quarter teen games, today's, I'm going to be generous, and this is not a race. This is not only one winner. This is whoever can get the right answer will get a quarter. That's it. If you know the right answer, you get it. So being a little bit more on the generous side today, so I hope that you guys will jump in on that. So the question for today is about me. What is the number and gender of my sibling or siblings? I'm not going to give away any more than that, but what is the number and gender of my sibling or siblings? Okay, so I'm not obviously not going to give away anything, but how many brothers and or sisters do I have? So if you know the answer, go ahead and let me know. If you want to send it to me privately and not try and reveal it on the chat, if you want to not give anything away, I don't care. But anyway, you get one guess, so lock that in and send that in. We'll have some fun with that. So anyway, I brought that up today because today's topic is peace. And just in sort of a funny way, when I think of peace, I think of the lack of peace that was going on in my house growing up. There was a lot of conflict, a lot of fighting and stuff, a lot of love now, but there was definitely some conflict growing up. And I'm guessing a lot of you can probably relate to a lot of that. So anyway, so we're going to talk about peace today. Peace can mean a lot of things, right? Peace can mean, inner peace, right? That we have, especially in Christ. Peace can talk about like lack of conflict or lack of war between countries. Peace can talk about lack of conflict with other persons, like an interpersonal thing. The English word peace can mean all those different things in different contexts. The same was true for Greek, which we're going to read a verse from the New Testament, a couple of them that use the Greek word for peace, which is eirene. That really carried a lot of the same meanings. And we see that all the way back in the Hebrew in the Old Testament as well. So a little pop quiz, hit me up in the comments. Does anybody know what the Hebrew word for peace is? I know you've heard it, but if you know what the Hebrew word for peace is, let me know in the comments. But the idea that came along with that idea of peace was not just an absence of conflict, but really seeking the good, seeking the ultimate best good for the other person or the other country, or whatever the sake would be. And so to wish someone peace, to talk about peace was not just we're getting along, we're not fighting, but we're doing what's best for the other person. We're seeking the best thing for them. And so I want us to keep that in mind as we think about peace today. We're going to look at a couple of verses. I'm seeing some guesses on the quarter team games. I'm a little surprised that some variety in answers, but we'll see where that goes. All right, so a couple of verses today. First, from the book of Isaiah, 26, verse 3 says, "You keep him in perfect peace, whose mind is stayed on you, because he trusts in you." So we talked a little bit about that inner peace, and we have that because of our faith in Jesus, that he gives us peace when we seek him. And in a time where a lot of things in life are kind of in turmoil, it's good to remember the peace that we have in Jesus. Now, we're walking through the fruit of the Spirit and talking about peace in that context. And I think when Paul wrote about peace, he had the whole thing in mind. But I think more than anything, he was talking about interpersonal relationships and how we can have peace there. And so a couple other verses that I want us to see. One is from the book of Romans, chapter 12, verse 18. We have talked about this before. This is one of my favorite verses, especially when it comes to this topic. But Romans 12:18 says, "If possible, so far as it depends on you, live peaceably with all." As far as it depends on you. In other words, there's going to be times where the other person is just not going to want peace. And there's times where there's maybe nothing you can do about that. But you do your part, right? As far as it depends on you. If there is conflict, if there is a lack of peace, let it not be your fault. You do everything you can do to seek peace. Again, seeking a lack of conflict, but also seeking the good of the other person, right? That's our idea of peace. So I'm checking to see if anybody's checked in on the Hebrew word. Looks like Luke must have done a little Google search and found the actual Hebrew, which none of us can read, except me a little bit. But the Hebrew word is shalom, which I know you've heard before. That's a common greeting, to greet someone with the word shalom. We can also see a form of that in the word Jerusalem. That comes from the same word as shalom. But anyway, yes, we're seeking the good of the other person. We want a lack of conflict, but we also want what's best for the other person. And so two quick reminders about really good and helpful ways we can do that. We talked about these a couple weeks ago. Patience and kindness, right? We sort of talked about those as if they were two sides of the same coin, right? If we are going about what we're doing with patience and with kindness, then we're going to find peace. We're going to create peace in those situations if we can treat the people around us with patience and with kindness. So let's remember that. I want to leave you with one verse today, one more. This is from the book of Matthew, chapter 5, verse 9. Part of the Beatitudes, Jesus says, "Blessed are the peacemakers, for they shall be called sons of God." So as we wrap up today, remember what true peace is, that we have it in Christ, that we have it with one another because of what Jesus has done for us. Remember that that part of it is a lack of conflict, of getting along with other people, not fighting, not picking on each other, those sorts of things. But it's wanting what's best for the other person and seeking to do them good. So as we read from Matthew, as we read from Jesus' words, be a peacemaker in your home, in your neighborhood, in your circle of friends and family. Be a peacemaker. Seek peace, seek to live in kindness and patience, and you'll find that in Jesus. So I love you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing you again on Wednesday afternoon at 3. And we'll check in again then. We'll talk to you later. Thanks. See ya.